hang loose, don't get too uptight, and quit your jobs, grow marijuana.
Slack off.
Slack off, don't work. I encourage anybody not to work.
Working can wait.
I say slack off, because you're only going to be alive for 70 years if you're lucky, right? And we just contribute to this sick, materialistic society, so slack off, big deal. You know, have fun.
Smoke pot.
Smoke pot, drink beer, booze, inhale, take.
Get each other pregnant.
Yeah. No, don't get pregnant.
Reproduce.
Don't reproduce.
What would be a good scam? Say kids out there are taking your advice. Give them a hint on a good scam to get them.
Bust into a car, give them a radio. Pawn it.
Learn to play pool real well.
Yeah, learn to play pool. Hustle on the street. Learn to play cards. Pedal the ass that God gave you. Buy nitrous.
We're all big pessimists with bad attitudes, walking around, and
It's pretty much exactly what we expected.
Yeah.
You know, a sea of people, everyone drunk, having a great time, and
we can see a newborn baby swimming underwater, trying to catch one buck. Is that related to the upbringing, the educational system we undergo?
Everybody's grown to value the dollar bill, and it sort of symbolizes success, capitalism.
Like that baby isn't a person, it's a consumer. You know, and that's what they all say. Consumers are spending less this holidays, you know?
They're not humans, they're consumers.
That's an ugly word, consumer.
We want people to come to our shows and just forget about their problems. I mean, it's not at all. I mean, it's also good to have a dialogue sparked up, but to, you know, be some kind of leader or something. Like, leaders really suck and ideologies really suck. I mean, you have to be responsible for yourself, and long-winded. What is it? Diatribe. The trend of fascism is just rising and rising. You know, I watch the news and I see skinheads firebombing refugee centers in Germany, and to have it materialize so close to home is outrageous. And you got to fight back. You know, if you don't care, you're worse than the conservative fanatics that are implementing this on everybody. And you got to choose. In Washington, there was a lot of logs.
and trees.
And a lot of trees.
Well, trees came before logs, right?
And a lot of trees getting cut down, and there's a lot of people whose lives revolved around trees getting cut down. And then now the trees are all gone, and they want to go after the last trees, and so there's some angry people there.
That's kind of upsetting, because Seattle was a city that, it was a clean city, and it was a small city, and there was no traffic, and there was no air pollution, and it was something really great that a lot of people were attracted to, so they moved there. And, you know, the more people that moved to the city, the bigger and worse the city.
And do you share this lack of engagement yourself?
What, being apathetic?
Yeah.
Sure.
Why?
Why? Because we sleep too much.
Kids are a lot smarter, I'm totally convinced. The average 18-year-old is a lot smarter than they were when I was an 18-year-old.
You think so?
I'm convinced.
In what way?
I wonder.
What kind of smartness?
They're just more aware. They're more jaded and cynical. They're more aware of injustice. They've learned from their parents' mistakes.
Wow. That's a funny one, because, you know, when you talk about cynicism, I mean, this side of the water, being a cynic is not particularly a good thing. I mean, it's the opposite.
No, it's not, but it's a fine defense mechanism. And that doesn't necessarily mean that people are avoiding necessary topics and things that really matter. It just means that they're aware of things.
How many times do the people have to learn the same lesson? You know?
Well, not everything should be common sense anyway.
Right.
Sexuality is a natural thing, and to meddle with nature is going to cause a lot of friction. Like in society, you just can't repress something like that. You can't repress a person's feelings.
And I just thought it's kind of a funny just reward for a person who rapes, like a guy, like a mean asshole who rapes a woman, violates her, and then he goes into jail and gets raped. You know? Yeah. I think it's kind of a justice.
So why should I care? Or is that's the same thing, right?
you think there's any sort of way to combat that, or have you guys yourselves given up?
Yeah, I think being nihilistic and cynical about things is like a self-defense mechanism, because I was really freaked out for a long time why people are so, nobody cares, or why people are just so silly and they're just
well,
stupid.
there are plenty of things that we do that contribute to fighting the man, you know, fucking with the system. I don't know. There's a few things that we can't even talk about because they're illegal. So, but there are plenty of things to do. There are a lot of things to do, you know. Xeroxes, you know, just make up a statement of what you feel about society and put Xeroxes all over cars, or, you know, there's a lot of organizations you can get into. Mm-hmm. All kinds of
standing on escalators. Okay. And that is a testimony to human laziness. I mean, the guy who invented the escalator is just probably...
But you're supposed to stand to the side, the right side, so that people can walk up on the left side.
You think that the guy made an escalator so people... And it's made like stairs, just so people stand on it, so you go up and down. You're supposed to walk on them, so you get there faster. You know? And then people stand on there. So every time I'm on an escalator, I'm just like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. You know? That's my pet peeve right there. And I'm gonna do
you want. I think the main thing is you guys should be doing things. And that's not for me, that's for everybody. You know? Just, you know, I talk about things in the media. And then just go home
it's much
drink beer.
It's much more effective to do a benefit for Bosnian rape victims and come up with how much money did we make for that, you know?
55 grand.
Yeah, I mean, that makes way more of an impact than talking about it.
And we got this organization called the Balkan Women's Aid Fund. And maybe you can flash the address and you can send donations to. And we're working with women's groups in Croatia and Austria and Hungary and Serbia and in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So we don't have any like nationalist ties whatsoever. A lot of these women are just caught.
Oh, we'd better not say it may hurt our careers.
We might not be.
12 years, Republicans. I know there are Republicrats, Democrats, Republicans. Lines get hazy sometimes, but I think there's enough of a line between George Bush and Bill Clinton. And definitely vote for Bill Clinton and take it from there. You just always attack from the left, and when somebody's in the left up there, you attack them from the left, and hopefully you can put somebody up there. It's a slow process, slow mentality in this nation, so keep our fingers crossed.
I'm just teaching her how to cuss and flip people off.
She's almost got it. She's just got to put all the other fingers down.
Almost sucking her thumb, too. Come on, suck it up. Suck it up. Kissing babies is always a good political move. Kurt's on heroin the whole time. It's just like, I've done drugs in my time, and I don't think anyone should do drugs. I'm not going to promote it, and that's why I've never admitted that I did drugs, because I don't want anyone to be influenced by it. I think it's stupid, and I think that articles that are written focusing on heroin use in the rock world, they're ridiculous, because heroin use is no more worse than it was 10 years ago. I swear. I know it isn't. I mean, I've seen it for a long time, and it's just, I think that when articles like that are written, that they influence kids. Whether or not it's negative, it doesn't really matter, you know. It still makes kids think, oh, my rock star hero does heroin, you know, maybe I will someday. And I think it's crap. Oops. I don't really consider most of the songs love songs, really. I mean, I think most of the songs are just confusion, you know, which is related to love or confusion. I don't know. It isn't really just about love or you know, it's just dealing with the problems that arise in relationships.
Well, here's a little story. When we were asked to play on the awards ceremony, they just assumed that we would come on and play Smells Like Teen Spirit, the big hit, open up the show, the first band to play, set the mood for the night. And we didn't want to play Smells Like Teen Spirit. So we came into the rehearsals and we were going to play 2 new songs that fit into the 4-minute, 20-second slot. So we practiced those, and the stage manager, you know, said, oh, okay, songs that fit. Then we get a call the next day that MTV says we cannot play unless we play Smells Like Teen Spirit. And we said, well, we're not going to play Smells Like Teen Spirit. They said, okay, well then you're not going to play on our show. We said, okay, bye. Then they told us that we could get on the show if we played Lithium. Later on in the set, they totally rearranged the whole show.
We were kicked off the show for about 5 hours.
Booted off the
They
show
took
for
away
about
our
awards. 5 hours, okay? We come back on the show, we agree to play Lithium. Basically what we were going to do was say, okay, we'll play Lithium, rehearse Lithium, and then do these 2 new songs. Because they're 2 brand new songs that haven't been recorded, and for some reason, MTV or Pepsi or whoever's the big wig corporate butthead top just wanted Teen Spirit. And so we were told if we didn't play Lithium, a good friend of ours would be fired from MTV. So basically the whole thing was just...
And our careers would be
severely
affected.
Just completely destroyed, you know. And it all came down to industry versus music. And the Black Crowes wanted to do another song, but they were pressured into doing their big hit. And Pearl Jam wanted to do it too. Yeah, they wanted to do a Dead Boys cover, but they were pressured into doing their song as well. So basically the whole thing was just a big corporate
political mess.
Yeah, we had to consider our management and the people we work with. We really like them a lot, and we didn't want to screw them over, so we were whores and sold out.
All in all, the careerists, you know, won the deal. And M Television should be Mafia Television, because it's a fucking load of total shit.
Yeah.
Definitely the tail shaking the dog. I mean, they have so much influence in the record company. It's really scary. I mean, bands aren't. You asked me what I'd like to change in the music industry if I could. Is I'd like to eliminate the chart system, and I'd like to base a band, merit a band on its music than on how much product it's shipped. You know what I mean?
How important is MTV in determining what not only America but what the rest of the world gets to even hear?
What do you think?
And that's
It's a monopoly. It's a 99% monopoly.
And that's a disturbing paradox between the access MTV has to the people of the world and the potential that it's just pissing away.
It's become a catalog for, like, you know, middle America viewers. They decide that the hot new video is the hot new bandom.
Yeah. It seems like the mainstream is very consistent in like blandness, being bland, like bland, boring TV shows, bland, boring bands, bland, boring blockbuster movies. It's all very consistent.
When it comes to like mainstream and commercialism, it's sort of like no one's willing to take a chance because it's a risk of money. You know, that's why you've had the same bunch of crap on MTV for the past 6 years or whatever.
That's right.
I mean, it just comes down to money, and people aren't willing. You know, it's not a feasible business move. You know,
it's a vicious circle. Is actually these people who are trying to make money is they play it really safe, and they take like a demographic survey. So they survey all these the papal hierarchy in the Vatican. I mean, they survey all these people and say, like, what do you like? What do you want to see? And they've been fed garbage, so that's all they know. And they say, we want more garbage. So they give them the garbage. They survey them again, and it's all this garbage. Next thing you know, you have this full landfill full of diapers and styrofoam. And that's mainstream culture.
We're music lovers. We're musicians. We like music. We appreciate all different kinds of music. As long as it's good. Doesn't matter if it's on a major label. Doesn't matter if it's a tape that someone made on their home boombox or a recorder like this. Doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter even if someone hasn't even recorded something to even have it distributed to anyone. If it's good, it's good. We just like it.
It just seems that, you know, a lot of the mainstream commercial bands are just, you know, they're just mega money machines, and they're not willing to do anything different because
it's not challenging musically,
and it's not
the same
financially feasible, you know.
A lot of the rock bands are just like Aerosmith, Hanoi Rocks rehashes, you know.
to the point where all the singers look the same, guitar players have the same moves, the same sound. It's a commodity is all it is.
Everybody wants to be hip.
And so that's what it is now.
Everyone wants to be accepted.
That's right. It's like the core of personality and ego is like humans are social creatures. So,
Stage diving goes on, and some kid gets hurt. The parent sues the venue, sues the band.
Asking all these housewives their opinions.
Right. What it is that there's just a glut of lawyers. There's more lawyers right now in the United States than there's ever been, and you know, they just want to go out there, and the kid will be laying on the hospital bed. He'll probably be seen by 5 lawyers.
Can you sign with your teeth?
Yeah, sign with your teeth right here. Right. There was a Simpsons about that. Remember when Bart got hurt on the skateboard?
Yeah.
That's not what it was all about. There's subversion in the mainstream. The funny thing about the Simpsons is a lot of people just like, hey Bart man, you're cool, and they don't see the subversion in it.